What's going on, everybody? I got a little microphone. Let me go grab it. I should have prepared. I got a little microphone courtesy of Chinese eBay. It's just called eBay, but if you go search by lowest price, a lot of times it comes from China. If you don't mind waiting a couple weeks, sometimes 5 or 6 weeks, but you can get some cool stuff for a really low price. I got this cool lamp up here. I love this thing. It's like a 96 LED panel. You can just see how, I mean, my skin's pretty white, but underneath this, it's glowing. So, I got this little microphone. It's currently not plugged in, but we are going to use this little microphone to try and record some screenshot type videos where I will give some critiques on artwork or miniature painting, but we'll call it artwork, or bust painting. Myself, I'll give critiques on myself, but I'd also like to have people send me photos, and I will be able to give you feedback. No, I'm not. I mean, I'll be nice. I'm not going to be intentionally mean, but I will give an honest opinion. So, just so it's helpful to you, and you can do with that what you will. You might, if you finished it a week ago, you might not want to put it back on the paint table and touch it up, but it might be just some things to think about for your upcoming projects. So, I think it'll be kind of helpful if we start talking about some painting stuff. I haven't won any golden demons or crystal brushes, but I have done like oil painting and stuff, and I do like painting miniatures, and I do like learning about paintings and Renaissance. So I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I don't know the best way to, I guess, send me the photos. So we'll go with email. I'll put my email in the description below. Oh, unless you can send photos on YouTube, I'm not sure. In a couple days, we're finishing our giveaway for Abaddon, and we're about to hit 150, so I better figure out what I'm going to be giving for the 150 giveaway. I don't want the channel to just be giveaway videos, but if we get subscribers and people like the other videos too, then it's fine. We'll work our way up to 1,000, and then we'll give away something real cool, because then that gives us a chance to add like a little commercial to the beginning of our videos, and supposedly you make a little money off of that. On my videos, I do have affiliate links to eBay in the description sometimes, and I have gotten clicks on those. I have not made not a single penny off of it, so I'm not 100% sure I'm doing it right. It does show that they've been clicked in the reports, but no money. So don't rush out and buy an affiliate marketing ebook or class from one of those nonsense people on YouTube just yet, because I can tell you it's not really working yet for me. But if you had 1 million subscribers, it'd probably work really well, maybe. But I would like to try and generate some money with the affiliate links at some point in the channel's journey, I guess, because it will help pay for the hobby. So that'll be cool. I'm working on a Sons of Medusa guy. He's going to probably be in a slideshow video to test out this new camera. It looks cool. It looks painterly. It doesn't look as cool as the good painters on Instagram. Pro tip, if you think you don't like Instagram but you like Warhammer, get Instagram, because you can just search like the hashtags for all your favorite factions and painting Warhammer and everything, and just follow tons of painters. So every time you're sitting on the toilet or whatever, just scroll through, and it's like, out with the old, in with the new, inspiration, right? So this video, I also want to talk about motivation, since we're going to be talking about like artwork in general. I hate, and by hate I mean don't care for people asking how to get motivated to paint their army. I don't mind like getting inspired to do like a new color scheme or something like that. I understand that, but when people are in like the Facebook groups and stuff, or like when they're asking about, oh, how do I get motivated to paint, and I don't relate to that at all. I might not paint hours every night, but I do enjoy it. I think it's a good part of my day when I do paint. So I don't need motivation to do it. I might need motivation to do 100 jumping jacks tonight, or 50 push-ups or whatever. But I don't need motivation to say, these little Vostroyans are looking pretty cool. Ooh, I'm gonna put some of that brown on these little bearskin hats. And ooh, while I got that brown out, let me touch a few of these straps and belt buckles on these ratskin snipers. And oh, I got this model over here, and he's got this little pouch. So I'm gonna put this same brown on that pouch. And that's a way to do it. The only thing I could suggest for motivation is, if you don't like it, maybe don't do it. Right? It's supposed to be a enjoyable part of your day. Obviously it helps to have some kind of setup. I got this little accounting desk, and then right below where the camera is like my card table that I have the like a fold out table that I have the airbrush and a lamp, and my camera fell onto it. Yeah. And by camera I mean my cell phone. Behind me is just a long computer desk, but I actually, even all the way back here, I have stacks of these data cards for armies that I have. This one's not even open because my Tyranids aren't even in a playable state. So right here I have like weathering paints too, my Forge Fiends, Scions that I'm working on. This is a good tool here. It's a piece of balsa wood with poster tack on it. And if you don't know, when you want to use a rattle can to prime, you can stick your models on here, and then while you're priming, you can rotate. So you can spray from here and get underneath, you can spray from here, you can spray from above, and then the only hard one is when you go this direction, but it's not that hard, easier this direction. And you can definitely get a good coverage with the rattle can. You can zenithal that way on a group of models at the same time, which is pretty cool. Another thing you might consider to maybe help paint if you need motivation to do painting, these little spools. They're like wooden spools that I got at like Hobby Bench or Hobby Lobby. I think they're like $1. And then you put some poster tack on there, and that'll give you something to hold while you're working, and that should be more comfortable for your hand, right? It's a decent size, so when you're painting, right, you can hold a good grip. You don't have to squeeze it, right? But you're not also pinching on something, right? It's a comfortable space in your hand. GW actually makes this product for quite a bit more than $1, but it's awesome. So if you don't want to go get a little wooden spool and some poster tack, get the GW one. I think you'll really like it. I don't have it, but I have felt it when other people bought it, and it feels awesome. And it feels like a good quality. That one has kind of a spring, so it could break. This one's literally a solid piece of wood with a hole in it, so it's pretty indestructible. Another thing, if you're feeling like you need motivation to paint, and it might be because you're doing the exact same thing on every model over and over and over again. So if you're painting Ultramarines and you're painting every single one of them the exact same blue, you're putting the exact same wash, you're dry brushing, every gun's the same, you might get burnout. So don't be afraid on your librarian to try a different color on his cloak and really just play, right? Mix a few colors around on your palette. You don't have to repeat this color again. So maybe take that purple and mix it with that bright orange and see what you get. Or put the purple on real wet and then take the orange, and while it's still wet, just start brushing it in, and that'd be like your step into wet blending. And that'll just be a fun way to experiment with color and having a good time. If you're not interested in color theory, maybe get interested in it. You don't have to read a book or nothing, but maybe watch a couple videos on YouTube and maybe print out a color wheel if you want. I don't know if it's necessary. Another tip that Duncan on Warhammer does all the time, but never tells you, at least as far as I know, is touch this hand to this hand, right? So if you're painting, don't paint like this. Let's go this direction. I'm left-handed, so don't paint like this when you're trying to do a little belt strap. You want to touch these two hands together, whether that's with your pinky, right? So now my pinky is bracing my two hands together. Can you see that? Or, you know, maybe I get close. Maybe I'll put these two knuckles and I'll hold the brush up higher. In oil painting, you would hold the brush like way back here, right? And that's why they're long handle brushes, because you paint with your shoulder and not your wrist. But in miniature painting, you mostly paint with your wrist. So also, if both hands are touching the same object, so I'm holding this here, I could put this finger on the wood here, this one down here, and that's going to give me a lot more steady hand. You know, if I need a downward stroke, if I want a hatch mark, I could turn it. I could put my palms together. And that's going to be a huge benefit to you if you don't know about that, because that's why you're having trouble staying inside the lines, most likely. If you have a medical thing, then, you know, do what makes you happy. Don't worry about if you're in the lines or not, as long as you like it, of course. And that's true for anybody. As long as you like your miniature, that's fine. But if you're painting like a 5,000 point army and you haven't gotten better from the first 12 point Space Marine to the 12,000 point, you know, Gilliman, I don't know. You gotta maybe just pay attention to what you're doing, right? Like, you're just putting paint on a miniature and it's not that complex, but in a master's hands, not me, but somebody much better, it becomes very, very complex. And the reason abstract paintings are not good is because there's nothing more abstract. This is in my opinion. I hate abstract paintings. There's nothing more abstract than creating a 3D image or world, whatever, on a 2D surface. That's abstract to me. The color harmonies, the values, the balance, the composition is all the abstract elements. Splattering paint on a canvas will not make a great painting. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jackson Pollock. It's terrible. Just like banging on a piano will not make a, you know, great song. So when you are painting, just try and pay attention to what you're doing, right? Like, is it light or is it dark? Is there going to be a little highlight or a little shadow? And I'm talking at like a basic level, right? I'm not doing like a Golden Demon quality piece, but I am trying to learn, right? Like, you can't really see, obviously, in my videos, but this guy, all his gold is actually a copper Vallejo color, just Vallejo copper. It's somewhere around here. Lovely little copper paint, Vallejo metal color. They make really great silvers. I'm not 100% sold on this copper, but I use it because I bought it. So all the gold on this guy is that copper with Lamenter's yellow, which is the yellow glaze from GW. And I've never done that before. I would have just grabbed a gold paint and painted it. So this time I tried yellow glaze over copper, and then Reichland gloss. Now I'm going to go back at some point and do one more yellow glaze. And we'll see how that works, right? I'm not going to do it on 30 models and then decide if I like it. I'm going to do it on one and then decide if I like it. Because it's a lot easier to just go back over and do one shoulder pad again than doing my whole army and then not liking it. If you want motivation to be... I think people can, like... If you're going to the gym, is the motivation coming from when you see the scale and the pounds are, your weight is less, or when you can put an extra 5 pounds on your bench press, or you can do 12 pull-ups instead of 10 the month before, or sets of 12 or whatever? I mean, if that's the motivation, then it's only going to benefit you in painting to try like new things. Like every new painter, when they learn how to dry brush, it's like mind-blowing if you have not had any kind of art background. Also, if you got into painting miniatures, maybe it got you into art later, which is probably the case for me. I used to love to draw, but then I kind of got into painting a lot later. I don't know. That's pretty much been all my life. But, and you'd think I'd have more to show for it. I don't know why that got so dark. But you'd think I'd have more to show for it for the amount of time I put into it. But then you hear about like a good painter who spends 8 hours a day painting, 12 hours a day painting. And then you go, oh, I haven't put that much time into it, right? I'm not doing 12 hours a day. That's how they get that good. But learning a new technique is going to give you that motivation. That's, making a new personal record on your clings or your deadlift or whatever, right? So start with base coat, dry brush, wash, dry brush, light dry brush, heavy dry brush, wet brush, overbrush, highlight, edge highlight, try a little wet blend, try some glazes, buy medium, mix it with some of your paints, try them out through super thin, take a super bright crazy yellow marine and glaze some, or it's green, super bright greenish yellow marine, and then take some yellow, maybe like an acrylic ink, and try a little thin glaze of the yellow in the highlight or the lightest area, and that'll just give it that vibrant yellow tone. I don't know why my camera's getting dark. I really should get better at this at some point. So I can't really relate to motivation. If you're gonna send me pictures looking for motivation to paint, I don't want them. Like, I'm not trying to motivate you. But if you're interested maybe if you're looking for inspiration, right? Get Instagram, talk to other people. Everybody who paints likes talking about painting, obviously. At least I believe that to be true. Because it's fun, right? It's like you're a wizard. You're like a color wizard, right? And the things some people can do with a paintbrush, other people can't, even though we all essentially have the exact same tools. So that's very interesting. I think that's why a lot of sports are interesting. You get to watch people do cool things that maybe you can't do, or maybe you like to, UFC fighting. People that spend a lot of time in their life to become a good fighter and then displaying that, right? So if you're going to spend time becoming a great painter, it's fun to talk about and display it for others without the consequences of hurting yourself in other environments. Unless you eat the paint like I do. But not on purpose. I just like to keep my brush extra pointy. So motivation seems kind of silly. I can't understand why my phone is getting dark. I don't understand asking on the internet for motivation. If you want to do it, do it. When I quit smoking, I watched some stuff, right? I read some books or whatever, but then eventually at the end of the day, I just did it, right? I didn't say I was going to try and quit May 1st. I said I'm going to quit May 1st, right? and now it's been over a year. So don't say you're going to try and paint for an hour every night, because that's, not a good habit. Say, I'm going to paint for 30 minutes every night, or I'm going to paint for 15 minutes every night. Maybe that's putting, base coat on 4 boots, 2 miniatures boots. And then if you're enjoying yourself, maybe that'll extend to, 15, 20, 30 minutes longer, an hour longer, and all of a sudden, you're looking up on the internet how to varnish your brand new painted army or whatever, right? So maybe this was motivation, maybe not. I'm not sure I believe in motivation when it comes to painting. One thing that I do find very interesting about miniature painting, and one thing that I love, is it gets a lot of people involved in art and interested in art, which is like something I really can nerd out about. Even though they might not be somebody who's interested in art or involved in art or like art or creating art, but they want to paint models. And to me, that seems super special. So please send me your pictures if you want to do like a critique. Make sure they're good quality. If they're real blurry, I'm just going to skip them. Sorry, but it doesn't help if we can't see them. So, get some good lighting or watch a video on how to take a photo. I'm not the best at it either. I bought a cheap lighting box off of eBay, and it works okay, but it seems like it blows out all the colors. And that's okay too, as long as it's pretty clear. If the colors aren't exactly the way you see them, that's fine. We'll be just, discussing general things. If this gets super popular and I can't keep up, then I guess I'll just have to pick a few, or my favorites, or something along those lines, or maybe just save them and then like get to them over time. Also, the Q&A video, which is going to be a response, or the video that I'm going to make with all the questions I get and my giveaway. I think there's already like 40 questions, so that video might end up being pretty long, which could be fun. Also, it gives me a lot of good ideas on maybe, future videos to make. So if you ask a question in the giveaway video, it might become just a full, 15, 20-minute video. That's all I got for right now. This is just kind of a hobby ramble or rant. One thing that's super motivating to me is I bought some dry pigments, Vallejo pigments. And I want to finish up some of these iGuard guys so I can play with those and start working on the bases, right? Because once you get the basing scheme you like, and you've got some colors down that you like, it's all smooth sailing from there. Then you get to play, right? Then you get to have some real fun. So that's what motivates me to highlight some little rattling heads, or paint some little belt buckles on my Vestroyans, because right now I want to get them to a level that once I base them, I can maybe put them aside, come back to them a little later if I want, or maybe they're done. So that's it for right now. Buy new things, try new things, have fun, as long as your paint is thin. It's not like a meme. It's not an internet meme. I can't even end this video. It's not even an internet meme to thin your paints. It's because of the scale of your model, right? You can paint real thick on a canvas because your canvas is big. You cannot paint real thick on a miniature because he is real small. So you need thin paint, because a thick brush stroke, when somebody's examining your model like this, is so glaringly out of place, because that ridge line of the brush stroke could be like the width of his pinky, or the width of the edge of the sword, and you're trying to look at it like, oh, he's holding a sword, but on that sword are big paint blobs that are the thickness of that guy's sword. Not a good idea. Also, a huge advantage of keeping your paints thin is you can always just keep painting over it. You don't have to say like, this guy's getting out of hand, right? But I can just keep working on it because it's thin paint, right? I'm painting with like tinted water, glazes. This is for glazes. You don't have to worry about this yet. But keep your paint very thin, because if you don't like your pink face on your commissar, if the paint was thin, just go on with another thin coat of a more beige face, right? And actually, that might end up being really cool, because you might still see the pink, coming through. Like, you can see the pink in my skin coming through with the other layers of skin over top of it. I think I could talk about painting until my voice gave out. This is probably my longest video yet. It's something I find very fascinating. And I hope to get better. I hope to help you get better. I hope you can help me get better, and we can all be one big happy YouTube family. Thanks. Please subscribe. If you see anything in any of my videos with like an affiliate link and that's something you like, consider buying it. That does help the channel, supposedly. We'll see when that... I'll let you know if it works, because I know other YouTube channels don't use a lot of affiliate links, and especially in our hobby. And I think it might be a good way to, earn money to your channel, but you're not, just asking for a Patreon pledge, which I will be doing at some point. I just don't know how I'm going to make that valuable to you to even deserve your dollar. So, also considering a P.O. box situation where you could do like, I could do like a viewer mail, and you guys could send me letters and stuff, and we could do like a viewer mail segment. That always seems super fun. I love opening up, wacky prizes or toy, and I don't know prizes, but it's gonna feel like a prize, right? And everybody loves getting like something in the mail, as long as it's not, something horrible. Like, I don't even want to say anything. So, anyway, screenshot videos coming, painter motivation, here it is. That's all I got on that. And by that's all I got, I mean I'll do 100 more videos on it. Send me some pictures. Let's see if we can do a video by Sunday. I think if I had like 5 pictures or so, preferably from 5 different people or 5 very different models. I don't want to see every tactical marine in a unit, but send me your favorite one, or send me the sergeant, and then like a character in HQ or a tank. I'm definitely interested in talking about that, because I really want to try and start weathering some of these iGuard tanks. And thank you so much for watching. Super cool. Please subscribe. Go like and comment the other video for the giveaway. Comment this one if you have any painter motivation for each other or me. This weekend when you go to the store, instead of getting the large combo at the fast food place in the same shopping center, get the medium combo and save $3, and use those $3 to buy an extra pot of paint. You can pick a random color and just add it to your collection, right? And then someday you're going to be like, oh, I wish I had mustard. Oh, I do, right? Thanks.